Welcome back to Snow Dog's Cooking, where if we can cook it, then so can you. Because trust me, we're not this great at it. We just follow some directions and make things work. Today, because in the past videos we've showed you guys some soups and chilies and things like that. I think there's a chili one coming up after this. Well, either way, you guys have been asking for the bread bowl recipe that I think I've showed it in Snow Dog's vlogs a couple of times. So since we're making so much soup, we're gonna make bread bowls. These are really easy bread bowls. If you are intimidated by making bread, trust me, these are way easier than you think. Well, look at this. We have best kitchen helper ever and second best kitchen helper ever in here. And you might notice in the next few videos that the floor has changed. There's some rugs in here, like all over for Memphis. If you want to know the story on that, I'll link the vlog down in the video description below. What do you think? You ready to make bread bowls? You gonna help? All right. I don't think there's anything out of this that you're gonna be able to eat. Maybe part of the lid later. Oh, we better check on third best kitchen helper ever. Hello, third best kitchen helper ever. She's like, I'm not coming in there. There's no oven on, there's no nothing. She says, don't care, not coming in there. And then I'm calling you fourth best kitchen helper ever.
Oh, yeah.
Even though you should be first. 6 cups. Six cups of bread flour. We're measuring out all the ingredients so we can make this easier to show you guys how to do this. Not everybody is going to have this setting on their oven, but if you do, set it to proof. And this is for proofing bread. It just keeps it warm. If you do not have this setting, you can set your oven to like 120 or so, 120 to 150, and leave the door cracked and put your stuff in there. That's just gonna help your bread bowls to rise a little bit faster. You don't wanna leave them out on the counter because you don't want it to be cold, because then they're not gonna rise, and we need them to rise. I have nothing in my hand, Memphis, look. All right, we're gonna go over everything you are going to need for this recipe. You are going to need 6 cups of bread flour, and then of course a little bit extra for when we roll these out after. You are going to need 2 packets of active dry yeast, or about 4.5 teaspoons. So if you get it in the little container, 4.5 teaspoons, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You need 2 1/4 cups of water, which we're gonna get warm here in a second. You need 2 teaspoons of salt. We're actually using garlic salt to give it a little bit of flavor, so we did 2 1/4 teaspoons. We need 2 teaspoons of sugar, and then we're gonna need an egg for the egg wash. We're gonna need some spray to make, after the thing does the thing, to make it not stick to the bowl, right?
All right.
So the first thing we gotta do, we gotta get this water to between 110 and 115 degrees. So we're just gonna microwave it. Don't spill it. Don't spill the water. Step over the best kitchen helper ever. She's like, oh my gosh, you guys, rugs in the kitchen is the greatest thing ever. Yeah, at least you're not sliding on the floor anymore. She's like, oh, tipper tappers, tipper tappers. So while we're warming the water, I do want to let you know, we're putting broccoli cheese soup in these bread bowls, and this is not a broccoli cheese soup that I make. It's a broccoli cheese soup that we used to buy for the deli. If you have a Gordon food near you, that's where you can get it. Otherwise, I do believe we have a broccoli cheese soup recipe, like an old one up on this channel. Maybe we'll have to make a newer, updated one for you guys. But any type of like thicker soup or chili or stew is great in bread bowls. Again, I know a lot of people are scared to work with yeast when it comes to bread. I suck at cooking, and I have perfected these bread bowls. Super easy, trust the process. Jamie's warming the water. While he's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and pour the yeast into our KitchenAid mixer. Now, if you do not have a KitchenAid mixer, you can do all of this just in a big bowl with a whisk and all that fun stuff. But we're gonna pour that right into here. Okay, so we warmed up our water. We're testing the temperature. We got ours about 114, 115, perfect. We're also using this as a glass bowl, so when the water hits this, it's gonna cool off just a little bit. So we're gonna grab a whisk. This is the warm water in. Ooh. And then we're just gonna lightly whisk the water and the yeast together. We probably really don't even have to because that mixed pretty good, but give it a little whisk because I can see that little bit floating there. So we're gonna whisk it, make sure there's none sitting on the bottom. And then, once Jamie's done with that, we're gonna take this adorable towel that probably doesn't fit with the season anymore, but look, it's a little red truck hauling a Christmas tree. There it is, there's a little red truck hauling a Christmas tree. We're gonna cover this and let it sit for 5 minutes. That's gonna give that yeast a chance to bloom. That is one of the most important parts of doing this. A lot of people skip this. Cover it, let it rest for 5 minutes. So while that 5 minutes is happening, we are going to take our 6 cups of bread flour. We're gonna add our garlic salt. You can use just regular salt as well if you don't want to use garlic salt. Like I said, we do a little bit extra just for the flavoring, and then the sugar as well. And we're just going to kind of whisk the dry ingredients together just so they're incorporated. Look, it's sugar and flour. Are we making cookies or what?
Does not smell like cookies.
Does not smell like cookies at all. It smells like spaghetti.
Right.
What do you think? Smell like spaghetti? What do you think about the rugs on the floor? The greatest decision ever. Are you mad? Are you mad? The bread bowls aren't for you. Yeah? You tell them. Yeah? Would you like your food in a bread bowl? She's like, yeah, I would totally eat my food out of a bread bowl.
See, and this is the same time that we'd incorporate like a cheese or something if we wanted to do like a cheesy bread bowl.
And we debated on that, but we thought we would show you guys just the standard recipe for the first time. Maybe we'll make...
At that point, you would just add the shredded cheese.
Yep. Yeah. Which it's best to use the not in the bag shredded cheese, like shredded yourself. Yeah. But we're not doing that this time. Right now, we're just making the basic one. We'll get more advanced in the future. Go ahead and pull off the towel. Is it foamy? It sure looks like you can see it doing its thing. It's doing its thing. It
smells like bread there, so that's kind of...
It does smell like bread. And that's pretty much what you want. You want it to be having that look. It does. It smells like beer. So it's doing the thing. You can see on the side it's a little foamy. So
a little bit,
yeah. So now we got to add the oil. It's just olive oil. I don't remember if I said that or not, but if I didn't, it's olive oil.
Look at how it doesn't mix.
Right? And then we're going to add approximately 4 cups of our 6 cups of this into here and start to mix that together. Oh, there you go. Yeah, take some out and then you can pour all the rest of this in. Okay, so we want this on the low speed, and then we're slowly...
Doesn't leave you much room to work.
I know. That's the only downside. We're slowly going to add the flour. And like we said, we're going to leave about 2 cups in the bowl. That should work out pretty good. I've done this many times, and it does get flour all over the top, but it works.
Pretty good, I think.
Yep.
Oh, over the top of this.
Yeah, but we'll just scrape that off after. Yep. So keep on adding so it keeps on mixing. And we're only going to run this for about a minute. So by the time Jamie's done adding this, then we're going to add all the rest of it. We're kind of just slowly start to mix it. Well, would you look at that? Bellies up. Best day ever. So this has been going for about a minute. You can see it is starting to look like dough. Now we're going to go... Alexa, stop. Sorry, I just stopped everybody's Alexas. Now we're going to go ahead and add the rest of the flour slowly, and then we're going to put this on speed number 2 and let it go for like 5 minutes. I think that should work out pretty good. So I'm going to let Jamie go ahead and add the rest of the stuff. Okay, all the stuff has been added. You can see it's pulling away from the sides. Now, this is going to continuously pull away from the sides like that. That's what we want. We don't want the dough to stick here. If your dough is super sticky, you can add a little bit of flour. If it's super dry, you can add a little bit of water. But I think this is pretty perfect. And we got to let this go, like I said, for a total of 5 minutes. Basically, the mixer's doing the work. If you don't have a mixer, have fun right? Have fun doing that motion. You are really good at that, though. I've seen you make bread before.
Counters are actually at the right height for me.
Yeah, they're not for me.
Yeah.
They're not for me. That's my hips that are still way down there.
That's doing good.
It's doing good.
Yeah.
I think so. I've made this before, so like I said, I'm pretty sure it should be pretty good. Okay, so this has gone for 5 minutes. Now, what we have done is we have cleaned and lightly floured our surface.
Yeah, and there doesn't have to be a lot of flour.
No.
It's hard to see on our white counter, but you just take it and just smear it into your counter.
Yeah.
So
and a little on your hands.
Yep, and a little bit on your hands. Trickle it around a little bit.
And now we're going to turn this thing into a ball. All right, so Jamie's got the dough ball. And we're just going to lightly turn it into a ball, like we said. You can set it on the floured surface and lightly flour it. And then we're going to take this bowl that we already used and we're going to spray it with a little bit of olive oil. And then that ball is going right back in that bowl. So now there is a light coating of spray on there.
Are you ready for me?
Alrighty, go ahead.
Right, here we go.
Drop it in. And now we're going to cover that with some saran wrap. Why is saran wrap always so difficult to work with?
It really is, too.
Yeah. And then once this is covered, we're going to put it in our oven, which is on proof, for about 90 minutes. Basically, we're looking for this ball to double in size. All right. So like I said, we have our oven on proof. We're gonna put this in here for about 90 minutes and it should about double in size. See you later, bread. Ta-da! Oh my goodness. I'm glad we put it in the oven because I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is already starting to, because it's so cold. It's only like 15 degrees outside. Ours more than doubled in size, which is okay. And now we're gonna put a little bit of flour around the surface. Again. All right, we have our floured surface. Now we're gonna do what's called punching down the dough. It is probably gonna stick a little bit to that.
It is.
I guess I could have sprayed.
So I thought about it.
Tip for those of you that aren't us, you can spray your saran wrap a little bit as well. Hi, best kitchen helper ever. I knew you were right behind me. Do you love these new rugs? She's like, I love them, Mom. What's Dad doing? I would totally eat some of that. I'm sure you would. All right, so go ahead and punch it down. The bowl should have, yeah, see the bowl, I had the oil on, so it shouldn't stick to the bowl. Punch it right in the middle. See all the air came out of it? So you can do that like 2 or 3 times and then pull the whole thing out of the bowl. See how it all released? There you go. Look at that. Now you don't want to play with the dough too much. Basically what we're doing here is we're forming it almost into a log shape, and then we're going to cut it into 6 pieces, and then we're going to make our bowls. And like I said, the dough doesn't need to be played with too much. If you have a dough cutter, that will work. We're just going to use a sharp knife. And then we'll get 6 pieces. I would, yeah, cut it in half, and then cut it in half, cut it in half.
Is that?
That would be 6, right? No, it's not. I don't know math.
I could do half. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, well, we're going to figure out how to cut this because I can't do math. All right, so these don't have to be perfect, but basically we're cutting the dough so that we end up with 6 little loaves. Yep, right there.
3 in each half.
Yep. They don't have to be perfectly symmetrical. You want to get them as close to the size as you can, but yeah, it is what it is. And then we're going to take each one of these and we're going to roll it real lightly into a ball. And then we're going to take those balls and we're going to put them on a cookie sheet. Okay, so you can see Jamie's kind of got the balls together. See how this one's a little bit smaller and a couple of these are a little bigger? You can kind of just pull some dough off and work with it a little bit. Again, you don't want to overwork your dough, so we're just kind of doing this real fast, and then we're going to put them on the cookie sheets, and they got to rise for another 30 minutes. So now that we have our dough into balls, we are going to let them rise for another 20 minutes. Now again, it is cold here, so I actually have this heat mat that we're using, which is getting the temperature, which is kind of just going to keep these let them rise a little bit. Now while it's doing that, we're going to get our egg wash ready. So we're basically going to take an egg, put a little splash of milk in there if you want to. I usually don't, but you can. And once these rise, we'll show you the next step. So while your bread bowls are sitting for 20 minutes, preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Okay, so now we're going to egg wash these. Basically, you just take your egg wash, and this is just going to make them nice and crispy on the top. And you brush some egg wash all over it. That's really all you do. Repeat that 6 times. Beautiful. Ooh, they're all shiny now. Now you want to cut a little X in the top of them. This is always a difficult thing to do. Sometimes just a razor blade seems to work too. Oh, drag that a little bit further that way. Perfect. Yeah. Basically what this is going to do is as the bread bowls start to rise a little bit more in the oven, it's just going to give them a way to expand a little bit. It's really all it is. You'll see once they come out of the oven. They got to go in the oven for 30 minutes. Now, because we're doing 2 racks, after 15 minutes, I'm going to switch the racks. Ooh. It smells good in here.
Hopefully they rise up just a little bit more.
I think they will.
I think they should.
We'll find out. It's really cold in here. You guys might have a little bit better luck than we did. I rotated them halfway through. I think they're done. Look at that.
It's perfect.
Perfection. You can kind of see where we split them a little bit on the top. They kind of...
Yeah, that's probably the right depth. They
Right.
should have all had that line. Let's see it.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's it.
That's okay. We did it. They're still bread bowls. Okay, we let them cool on the rack. Ooh, look how soft it is. They better be done in the middle. Here's the test. This is basically what you do. You cut the top off like that. Now there's two different ways. That does look beautiful. There's two different ways that you can do a bread bowl. You can either pack the dough inside, which some people like.
Yeah, so I'll do half and half, so you can see how with all the big bubbles that this just compresses.
Yeah.
It's still a little
It's
long
hot,
to do
yeah.
compressing, but what's really nice is, I mean, we're gonna dip this into there and knead it. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna stick our finger in there, and we're gonna take out a chunk.
Yep.
There's a bread, and then okay, it's still a little
still
warm.
hot. Yeah, so be
And then
careful.
there's another chunk of bread.
Yeah, you
so
don't have
we'll
to
just
do it.
kind of gut it like that.
And then we're gonna put some soup in it. And it'll be delicious. While we're heating up our soup here, look, Jamie got his bowl all ready. That's not quite hot yet. I do want to let you guys know, you can store these in the refrigerator for like 7 days, or you can actually freeze these. They'll freeze for probably a month to 3 months, depending on how well you package them. So because this does make 3 total, if you want them to be completely done, you can go ahead and throw them in the freezer and have them for the next time you need bread bowls. Do you want to give just the bread a taste?
It's very soft and warm.
This same recipe can be used for dinner rolls, for pizza dough.
That'd be a good dinner roll.
You
That
could
would
also-
be a good pizza roll too.
Yep, you could also make 3 loaves of crusty bread with it. Just so you know, it's a very basic bread recipe.
Yeah, maybe next time we'll do a little bit more of the garlic.
Of the garlic, yeah.
Just because we're doing it with the bread rolls.
Right. That's kind of what I thought.
But yeah, that bread was that's good.
I think so, too.
Easy too.
I think she's exhausted. She's like, all right, I've had enough. I don't even care. Okay, it may not be bread bowl. We did put some garlic in it.
Wait.
She's like, whoa. Yeah, there's them tipper tappers.
Yeah.
So you get a treat. You get a treat. And you still tipper tappering? I guess we should go find third best kitchen helper and give her one too. Hey, look, we found you. Are you tipper tappering as well? You get a cookie since you can't have any bread bowl. Sorry. And that is a bread bowl. Now we're gonna see what it tastes like. Beautiful. Gotta scrape the edge of it, get some of that bread, a little bit of added cheese on top. Yeah, I know.
I just have to dip
Do
the
it.
bread.
Do it. Dip that bread in there. You got a little nose over there. Oh,
I know you would like some too, but you can't
I
have
would
it.
love it. Yeah. That is a win.
Smells watery.
Yeah, I know. So good, right? So easy, yet so good. Well, that was amazing. Super easy, like I said. And you can use this recipe, again, like I said, to make all kinds of things. You know, pizza dough, dinner rolls, bread. Bread bowls are my favorite, though. So, if you guys try this, let us know. And like I said, that broccoli cheese soup isn't our homemade broccoli cheese soup. It is the stuff from Gordon Food Service. And it's amazing. If you've never had it before, you should totally try to find a GFS near you and get some. The dog decided now is the time to drink water. Perfectly fine. All right, you guys. We hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Stay positive, dream big, and we'll see you again soon. Goodbye, audience.